Thanks for staying with us. The city is considering starting a community garden, which will allow citizens to participate in growing some kind of plant, fruit, or vegetables in a centralized location. To talk to us about it today is Councilwoman Michelle Berger, and also the citizen who started the idea, Matthew Stover. Thanks for joining us today, both Councilwoman Berger, Matthew. Good to have you both here.
Good morning. Thank you for having us, Ed.
Glad to do it.
Thank you.
A community garden survey. We'll start with Councilwoman Berger. Yeah. This idea came to us from Matthew.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to have Matthew bring the idea to us, at the city, and Matthew and I and some staff members met probably a couple months ago already, right?
That's right.
About 2 months ago, and when they came up, they had the idea of, the garden itself, gave me some examples of what it looked like in other cities, and really just, had a concept and really had great intent behind it, and asked the question, can this be done in Port St. Lucie? So we didn't know the answer to that just yet, but we brought it back to council. Council said, let's look at it, and we wanted to make sure that we looked at it from every aspect and seen what kind of benefit it could offer to the city, and then offer as, another aspect of a well-rounded city. So we're in the process now of doing our due diligence and asking the citizens their opinions, and we're excited to be here today to kind of prompt it.
Okay. Matthew, this idea came from you, so you are a hobbyist gardener. Is that something you enjoy doing?
Yes, I do. I have a passion for gardening. This is something I love to do. So the idea came from this perspective. I've seen other cities do a community garden program. And then I had the idea I would love to get with other like-minded folks who love gardening, who love to exchange information, and maybe even grow food for themselves, maybe even to teach others about growing food. So it was just a random phone call. I said, why not? Let's just call up the city and see if a program like this has been put in place. And luckily, I've been able to work with some really wonderful folks in the city. Councilwoman Berger's one, Patty Tobin in Community Services, and also Daniel Holbrook have all been very resourceful and very helpful.
Yes.
Sure. Councilwoman Berger, this is the kind of thing that people just like to get involved sometimes on something that's not political, and just come out and do something with other residents, other people. Yeah,
I agree. And this is a terrific opportunity, as Matthew said, to teach as well. So it's about advocacy. It's about making sure that people understand the fundamentals behind what gardening looks like and how it could be translated from a bigger community garden into your own garden in your own backyard. But it's also, hopefully, we're going to have it in a position that allows some neighborhoods to take advantage of it and be able to, use it to really feed their families as well. So part of what we're looking at is location and making sure that it's going to be, in an appropriate location that doesn't interfere with neighborhoods, obviously, but allows people to be within walking distance to come and take advantage of maybe taking something home, or just taking the advantage of the learning part of how to make this happen, and then obviously giving an opportunity for kids to come in and kind of get excited about eating their vegetables.
Well, it's fascinating. As a kid, I remember that, and many people have had that experience of being fortunate to grow some vegetables or something in the backyard or somewhere, maybe at a grandparent's house, whatever it may be. And if you can have that experience, you really come to appreciate that the food at a different level there does something. And I guess that's kind of what the idea of gardening is about in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Matthew?
I actually have a garden at my house. I've been gardening, like I said, for the past 6 or 7 years. And my children really understand where tomatoes come from, and they eat their fresh vegetables. So I guess this community garden, just interest to see if we have interest in the community. We feel that maybe there are folks in the community that are wanting to be able to exercise their green thumb and get together. So I guess that's the reason why we wanted to make sure the community knows about it.
So
I love that, exercise your green thumb.
Yeah, let's get it going. Yeah. How does a community garden work then? Does anybody just go up and plant anything, or is there some rhyme or reason? How does it?
There's a lot of rhyme or reason.
Well, there are typically two different scenarios. There's one that's a communal garden where everybody comes together and grow, typically for a food bank or some other kind of nonprofit organization. That's one scenario. But the most popular scenario is there are individual plots that participants can more or less rent, quote unquote rent, and for a very, very, very small fee. And then it's organized by, an organization that's of the community members there. And then they can decide as to what they would like to grow.
And I guess it's whatever.
Vegetables, herbs, flowers.
And how about watering it? They come out on their own and water it at their own times, or does it all get watered together? Or probably those details haven't been worked out yet?
Those are some of the details that we're looking at working out. I mean, there's one concept that I really like, which is the one Matthew was kind of referring to, where it's basically a block of land that we decide, is where we're going to dedicate the space to, but it may be lifted off the ground, and so more like container gardening, but in as far as sizing, maybe 3 by 4, 3 feet by 4 feet, or larger than that, squares. And it's kind of like if you've been to Epcot, how Epcot looks when everything is lifted off the ground, and then you've got certain pieces of property that are almost subleased to these families, and they can come in and grow carrots, or the next one could be growing whatever is was next for what their selection is, and also makes sense to be next to the previous one. But that concept is kind of neat because individually, families can come in and feel like they own a part of it, and we'll get the rest of the details kind of worked out. But again, it really is in the stages now of doing our due diligence and figuring out what would work and what would be acceptable from the public. But I love that one because it just enables more people to get involved.
Sure, and the more people respond to the survey, the more people who are on there, the better idea we'll have and get a better picture of what people would like to see out there.
Yeah, one of the places we're looking at is right outside of the Civic Center. So we have some space, that's open green space in the city center area, and it's already irrigated. So we're considering that space specifically because there's not a whole lot of infrastructure that has to be put in. If the area is raised up a couple feet, it will be as simple as really just putting in, and I'm not an engineer by any means, but what I hear is that it's as simple as putting in maybe one of those sprinkler kind of heads that's in the same irrigation system but higher, just elevated, and then you'll have one that's basically just irrigating the rest of the garden area itself. Right. So impact-wise, it's not much different than what we're already doing at the city center area, and I think it would be a good footprint.
Sure, it'd be a real nice thing because it's environmental, it's attractive, gives people something constructive to do. It's a learning opportunity. It can feed people. That's so many good things all kind of coming together. And I know as a council member, you're always looking for those kinds of things, connecting one need with another situation and kind of making it all work together.
Yeah, it kind of speaks to our livability as a city. Taking opportunities where people say, this is what I'd like to see our city participating in, my city participating in, and really building on that. The Civic Center is a great place to be anytime, and we have some spaces that we could do some more with until it's built out. And this is something that would be considered, a temporary structure, easy to put up, easy to take down at the time when it's ready to take down, but certainly something that can benefit everybody while we're in the stages of, still letting City Center build out.
Sure. And if it's popular, it wouldn't be hard to imagine this continuing then to the future, maybe in a different place or different neighborhoods, as you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe the plan could grow some. It sounds like something that people will enjoy. And our botanical garden, that's run completely by volunteers because people enjoy getting out there and working in the environment. And so this is kind of along the same lines of thinking.
The Friends of the Botanical Garden, right?
Friends of Botanical Gardens.
They do a great job out there.
They sure do.
Too.
They run the whole place, keep it going. It doesn't cost money for city employees. They are motivated because they love what it's all about. That's right. I guess gardeners like you.
Exactly.
And it gives them a chance to be involved in that at a really high level and make that place look great.
Yep. So gardening is a passion for Matthew and people like Matthew, and why not take that and use the knowledge they have and enable us to make something special? For me, like Matthew said, I have a couple of things in my backyard. I do some container gardening and really enjoy the fruits of our labor there at the house,
It's just better when you do it that way, isn't it? Something about it is better.
Yeah, the tomatoes are sweeter and the peppers are hotter. It's really just seems like. But it's enjoyable to put it in there and watch it start from nothing. And really just enabling people to do it together too, in a community setting. Right. And it sounds like a good time.
I think it keeps people grounded. It keeps kids grounded. You understand the importance of that basic thing, but it's so important. Matthew, if somebody's interested in knowing some more, who should they call?
Well, you can visit the website. The survey is on the City of Port St. Lucie website. It's on the left-hand column.
cityofpsl.com.
Cityofpsl.com is on the left-hand side. It's called Community Garden Survey, so they can feel free to fill out that survey. We're encouraging folks to do that. At the end of the survey, they can put their contact information and it will be emailed over to Patty Tobin over in Community Services. So, and that's pretty much how we are taking this project on right now, or the interest in this project.
We'll get some results back, and we'll report them back here on TV 20, let people know how the survey went.
Great.
And hopefully people will fill it out.
Yeah, we'll be bringing those results back to the council and allowing the council to be part of, you know, creating the vision for it and moving forward with some decisions there, and hopefully, you know, we can keep creating some interest on Channel 20 here for people to fill out the survey and send in their thoughts.
Right, we sure will. And we'll put it out in our electronic newsletters and other ways as well.
Great.
So hopefully people will hear about it and get something. The more people you have, the better idea you can have about what they want. Well, good. Councilwoman Michelle Berger and Matthew Stover, citizen gardener, bringing your idea to City Hall to share it with other people. Thank you for that. And thank you both for your time. We appreciate it, and we'll see where this goes.
Great.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we'll be back after this quick message. Stay with us.